What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my page. Hey, this is Hard and Hustle. It's been a while since I did my last video. I want to say the last time that I did a video, we had under 100 subscribers. Now we're sitting at about 225 subscribers. So I want to thank all my new subscribers that are here and checking out this page. I'm doing this, like I said, if you watch my other videos, is because when I bought this, there was no knowledge out there of this cutter. So I got in there, did some homework, researched some stuff, troubleshot myself, got in there and just did my own thing and learned it. And now I'm trying to just put out videos. And if there's anybody out there that can give me feedback on something that I'm doing that they do faster, hey, I'm all for it. And it will not only help me, but help everybody else. The other 224 subscribers that we have. Trying to figure this thing out since there's no videos out there. But for now, I'm just going to be doing a video. I'm not going to be doing any cutting. So hopefully with the information that I give you today, you can follow my instructions. Hopefully they're not too hard to understand, but you can follow my instructions and do your own thing, right? The season right now, what season is it? It's football season. So there's going to be a lot of football going on. There's high school, junior high. The kids are going to be playing football. So there's going to be a lot of shirts that are going to be needed. We know that. There's going to be parents that want shirts, brothers and sisters that want shirts, teams that want shirts, cheerleaders that want shirts, decals for vehicles, you name it. It's out there. We just got to get out there and just got to learn. We got to learn our program and then put it out there. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go out there. I'm going to show y'all how I do some vectors for I'm gonna show you some football logos, show you how I do them, and then hopefully this information is good for you and you can put it out and put out some good work and make some good money off of it. All right. I came up with a new logo for my Heart and Hustle printing. I'm gonna show you right now. I made a new intro, so here, check it out. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I had a subscriber ask me how I took out some unwanted or straightened out some lines in a font. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Just knock this out real quick. Hard and Hustle. Make it a little bit bigger. So, in order to get these little dots out of here, so your cutter's not going crazy. And as you can see, it has a whole bunch of them all within this letter. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to come up here. There's going to be a weld by color and a weld. So I have it up on the top because I use it a lot. If you don't have it on top, you can always come over here to the side, to the left side. There should be a weld button. If you hold it down, it has a little arrow. If you hold it down, it's going to pop out like that. Then you can grab it. It's going to pop out like that, and then you can grab it. You can grab it, and then you can put it wherever you want. So now as you can see, you have it here, right? It disappeared from the top, but it's here. So what I do is I put it up here. It's weird. You have to actually put the back of it there, and it'll fall. So in order to delete these circles, what you're going to want to do is highlight the whole thing or put a square around it, and you're going to want to weld by color. So when you weld it by color, you are now going to be able to remove some of this stuff, right? So as you see, now that we welded it, there's not all those individual overlapping that will cut. It's just going to have all these little tiny ones in here. So then what you're going to do is you're going to come. So what you're going to want to do now is you got this tool right here, this select point tool. So you can, with this one, you can go in here and delete each individual dot one at a time, and that could take a while. And you'll eventually do it. But if you look at all these points that you want to delete, like right here, all these that you want to delete, it's gonna take a while. So what you're gonna want to do is just come back up here to the arrow on top, click the arrow, and then I'll use my other finger and just put on delete, so I don't have to right click. And then I'm gonna come in here and just click whatever I don't want. So I'm gonna click this piece, and it's gonna highlight. It's gonna put a group around it. Then just hit delete. Next one, delete, delete, and it'll be a lot fast. It'll be pretty fast once you figure out what you're doing. But remember, you have to use the weld by color. Do not use just the weld tool because you won't be able to delete them. So you're going to go in here and just delete all these extra pieces that are just sticking out there that you don't want the cutter to be going crazy trying to cut all these little individual pieces. If you click something here, like say this H right here, you see this piece sticking out, you're like, oh, I don't want it there. But if you click it, it's going to highlight the whole word. So then if you click delete, it's going to delete the whole thing. Control Z is undo instead of going to the file and undo or up here on the top. So we'll just keep going. It's good to learn the little command keys or quick keys so that whenever you're doing something that you can just go back and do it real quick. So, all right, now that we got, let's zoom back out to the full page, all right? Highlight it, and then we could just move it out of the way. And as we can see now, there's no leftover little black dots anywhere, so we know we got them all. All right. Then one more question she had was, how do you straighten these lines out? All right. So same thing. You're going to come to this tool here, and then you're going to come to this straighten point right here. Let's go straighten point pin point tool. And then you're just gonna add some points in here. All right. So say you want to go from here to here. So you put a line from here to here. And then you connect it down here, and then when you press enter, it's going to straighten that line out. Might not be exactly what you want, but I mean that's the way I know how to do it. So like this H, how it goes out and then in, or like right here this H, how it's like all these little, just go from here to here, hit enter, it'll straighten it out. There's the bin tool right here, same thing. So if you wanted this E, you can come here and then go there and then grab the handles. You can move the handle however you want to move it. Once you get it to where you want it, you release it, press enter, and it's going to do what you want. All right, so that's how you will delete points and straighten out lines. All right, so now let's get into the football logos. All right, sorry about that, I forgot she had wanted she had asked me, a subscriber had asked me about that, and I told her how to get to it, but I just been so busy, so I had to throw that in there real quick. All right, football logos. All right, here we go. So here's what I have. I have all these football logos, sports logos. I have the baseball logos, baseball, basketball, football. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the football logos. So what I'm going to show you is some easy ones. So we'll start off with the Buffalo Bills, all right? So I'm just going to grab it, bring it down, drop it right in there. All right, so as we can see, we have our Buffalo Bill. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to bitmap, vectorize, and then I'm going to enhance curves, and it's going to turn it dark. It's going to turn the whole thing dark, all right? So now we can move this one out of the way because this is the one that's going to cut, not this one. So we can delete that one. This is the one that we're going to be working with. Make sure you highlight the whole thing because it's not grouped yet. All right, so here's the whole thing right here. So as we know, the bill is blue and red, right? So if you wanted to just cut a sticker out of this, because if someone was the Bills and they just wanted a white one on the front of their shirt that said Bills, there it is. So that's all you're gonna do is you have to have a PNG file. Don't forget that. If you don't have a PNG file, you have to put it through Photoshop and then turn it into a PNG file, right? So make sure you have the PNG file so that whenever you bring it over here, it's easier to do the bitmap, vectorize it, and then enhance curves, and it'll turn it to this right here. All right. So now here's the next thing. If you don't want to do it like this and you do want the color, you want the blue and the red, or breast cancer month, you want blue with pink, or whatever. Say you want a black buffalo with a white stripe, whatever you want. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you first. If we go to try to cut, see if this thing will cut. I'm gonna move this. Now I always say bring it down to the far corner, so I'm gonna get a little bit smaller, bring it down here to this corner, and then I am going to cut. Hopefully it'll come up. Yeah, okay, I was worried I wasn't gonna come up because I don't have my cutter hooked up. Alright, so here I'm just gonna zoom in here. We are. So here's our logo that we're gonna cut. If you're cutting a sticker or you just want a plain white one, there it is. But if you want a colors, it's gonna cut all at one time. So what you have to do, an easy way to do this is come down here and grab your blue paint. Just grab it and bring it up here. So whenever you bring it up here, make sure you have the paint bucket. So when you drop it, it changes the color of it. And so as you can see, these two legs aren't grouped with the rest of the buffalo. So do the same thing. Drop the blue. So you're gonna have the roller. You have a pin, and then you have the bucket. Make sure you have the bucket. Drop the bucket in there. Same thing, bucket right there. And then we're gonna go white, or we'll just go pink, so it'll stand out. So we're gonna change this one to pink, right? So here's our buffalo now, right? So now when we go back in here to cut it, you're gonna see here's the blue, and there's the pink, right? The blue and the pink. I've already done this one before, so I saved it already. I'm not gonna save it again. So let's do this one, because this Detroit Lion one, I'm gonna show you how it's tricky. So when we drop it in here, all right. So this gray line on the outside is gonna be tricky, because it's whenever you turn it into a bitmap, vectorize it, it's going to look for the darkest lines. So whenever we go to do this, we highlight the whole thing, right? As when I click this, as you can see, it didn't do the outside. So it just did, if I get that and I delete it, this is all that it did, was the line. Control G so we can keep that arm together. So as you see, all it did was the line here. It left the outline out. If that logo will work for a shirt, you know what I mean? If you're just doing a plain white one, the lions, there it is. But if you wanted the ring on the outside, you'd have to do something a little different. So let me show you what I would do. So this is what I did over here. Let me start over. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to come here. I'm going to grab this file, the lion, drop it into Adobe Illustrator, right? Make this smaller. Bring it up. Right, here it is right here. So now we'll do the 3 colors, let it trace it. When you do the image trace, it's putting all those little points in there, all the anchors. Alright, so now I'm going to come here. We'll leave it like that. I already adjusted it. Alright, and then we're going to expand it. So now you see all these points all the way around, right? File, I'm going to save as. I'm going to save it as a SVG. Save it. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to come back down here to LXI. And now that I've saved the Detroit Lions into an SVG, I'm going to grab it, pull it into LXI, and drop it. Okay, so now, as you can see, the whole thing is blue. Like before, it was gray and blue, so it wasn't finding that light color. So now that we have the whole thing, first thing we're going to do is delete these two squares, right? So what I like to do is, because when you click away, it goes away. Come down here to the fill mode and click that, and then you'll see the outline, right? So then you're going to click this first one, delete it. My fault. You're going to ungroup it because they're all grouped. Click the first one, delete. Then you're going to come here to the next one. You're going to ungroup all. Okay. Delete that one. Right. Now we have this one. Here's where things can get tricky, because sometimes these lines have like 3 or 4 inside of them. So like this piece, see how there's that piece? And then when I click it again, it goes to the outside. Right. So this is probably a white piece right here that's going to sit in there. But if you're doing it on a white shirt, it's not going to matter. So you're going to have this white piece, this white piece, this white piece. So I'm going to put them all back. Alright, so now we know we wanted this blue and this outside line gray. Remember how to do it. Come down here to the bottom, grab it, look for the paintbrush, and drop it. So now, whenever we go to cut it, we don't have to turn this into a vector. We don't have to come up here and turn this into a vector, because we already did that with Adobe Illustrator. What I like to do is come in here and move, take the white out. We don't want this to cut, so let's get rid of it. We don't want the eye to cut, we don't want this to cut, we don't want this to cut, and we don't want this to cut. So the only thing that should be cutting is the blue and the gray, and then everything else will be the color of the t-shirt. So if they put it on a white t-shirt, it will shine through the between, it'll pop out, should I say, pop out between the blue and the gray. So let's go over here, give it a cut. There's the gray that's gonna cut. There's still some white in there, and it's hard to see the white because it doesn't show through. And then here's the blue. So here's the blue, and here's the gray, right? A good way to find it would be, that's how you would get the light colors. You have to take it to Adobe Illustrator and turn it into a vector so that it can find those colors, right? So let's go with another easy one. So I'm not gonna save this one. Let's do the Indianapolis Colts. Remember, you gotta have an SVG file. You're gonna come here, you're gonna drop it in. You're gonna highlight the whole thing. Come to the top, click bitmap, vectorize, enhance curves. Right away, it's gonna turn it black. So you're good. You're gonna move this one out of the way. Come back to the background, just delete this one. Move this one back. And then you have a decal, you have whatever you want to put on a shirt, whatever color you want to do it. You don't necessarily have to change the color to make it look, oh, I'm going to do it the Colts, so let me drop the blue in there. You don't necessarily have to do that. Your cutter doesn't know what color you're putting in there, you know what I mean? Whatever color you put in there is the color it's going to cut. So if you put, if you have this the way it was, the black, if you have the black in there and you put the blue vinyl, it's going to cut the blue vinyl, alright? That was an easy one. Let's try another one. I'm not going to save it. So we're going to go in here and go with the Houston Texans. Drop that one in there. Drop it right there, right? Highlight the whole thing. Come in here. Vectorize. Enhance curves. There it is. Go back to the background. Just delete that one out of the way. Keep them, if you want to keep them the same distance, come back. Make sure you have both of them highlighted. Control G. Now they're both together. If you want to see how the colors look, drop blue. I don't have red down here right now, but we'll just drop pink, and there it is. So when we go back to cut it, there's the blue, there's the pink. All right. Next, let's show you one a little bit difficult, a little bit harder. We'll get rid of this one. We're going to go back to this. Let's go with the So let's go with the Falcons. I'm gonna show you what happened if you put it here. If we put it into LXI, right? Okay. We have it in LXI. We're going to do vectorize. Watch. So again, the only thing that it copied was the black. It left the gray out and it left the red out. So we delete this one. Let's group this together. And we move it here. Yeah, you can use it as a falcon. Nothing wrong with that. It looks alright. You can put it on a kid's shirt for the youth football. They're the Falcons. It looks good. Right. But how do we get this? How do we get this whole logo to work? Again, we're gonna have to go with Adobe Illustrator, right? So I'm gonna delete this one. Come back over here. Grab the Falcons. Come back to Adobe Illustrator and drop it in there. So as you can see, it's the SVG file because it doesn't have a background, right? It has the gray, the white, the black, and the red. Oh, I'm sorry, I put it in Photoshop. I'm gonna bring it down and drop it into Adobe Illustrator. Here we go. So with Adobe Illustrator, it doesn't have a background. So here we go. Got it set. And we're good. We're gonna. So if you have Adobe Illustrator and you're using Adobe Illustrator, image trace at the top. Image trace. We'll do 6 colors. Let it do its magic. It's going to do the pixel clustering. Once it gets done, I'm going to check to make sure none of this changed. It's good. Click this picture, expand. Now, as you can see now, we have all these points in here. And they're nice, they're spread out amongst everything. But if you want to clean it up, as you remember, I showed the smooth tool in another video. You just come in here, grab it, and it'll take some of these points out that don't need to be in there. Right? But this looks good. So I'm going to come here, save as Falcons logo. Remember to save this type, change it to an SVG. It's going to change it to this, but make sure it doesn't change to one of these names. It has the Atlanta Falcon logo. Put it on there, hit OK. Now we can close this out. Atlanta Falcons. Here we are right here. So we're going to bring it down, drop it into here. As you can see, the whole thing is outlined in red. So we're going to come here. We're going to ungroup it all. Group, ungroup all. And we're going to delete these boxes on the outside. Delete. Delete. All right. So then when we come back here, as you can see, it has every single piece that we need. And there it is. Make it bigger. I'm going to take the white out. If we put it on a white shirt, we don't need it. So I'm going to take that piece out. Remember, if you could save vinyl by taking out, if you're doing it on a black shirt, take the black out, and you're going to have the gray, the white, the black is going to shine through. You're going to put the white and the red where it belongs, and then you're still going to see the full Falcon, all right? Saves vinyl, and it saves you some money. So I'm going to show you, click the cut button. As you can see, there's the gray, there's the black, there's the red, and there's some white that I left in there, all right? So that concludes my video on the NFL logos, some sports logos. If you need any additional help, let me know. I appreciate all of y'all again, all 225 of you. Let's keep raising the number. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you got any comments, any questions, feel free to send them. I try to answer back as soon as I can. Once again, this is Heart and Hustle Printing. Thanks for staying tuned, and thanks for being loyal. Till next time. See you later.